Chapter 8 Pranks and Plays by Louisa May Alcott. Daisy and Demi lived in a world of imaginary creatures. One of them was the naughty kitty mouse, an invisible and tyrannical spirit. Daisy found a fearful pleasure in its service, blindly obeying its most absurd demands, which were proclaimed at the lips of Demi. Rob and Teddy sometimes joined in these ceremonies without understanding much. One day, Demi whispered solemnly to Daisy,
"The kitty mouse wants us this afternoon for a sacrifice. There must be a fire behind the big rock at 2 o'clock, and we must all bring the things we like best and burn them." "Oh dear, I love my paper dollies the best. Must I burn them?"
cried Daisy, who could not deny the unseen tyrant anything it demanded.
"Everyone, I shall burn my boat, my best scrapbook, and all my soldiers,"
said Demi firmly.
"Well, I will, but it's too bad for Kitty Mouse to want our very nicest things,"
sighed Daisy.
"A sacrifice means to give up what you are fond of, so we must,"
explained Demi.
"Rob is bringing his wooden toy village. We'll have a grand bonfire."
This brilliant prospect consoled Daisy, and she ate her dinner as a farewell banquet with her dolls. At the appointed hour, the sacrificial train set forth, each child bearing the treasures demanded by the greedy kitty mouse. Even Teddy tugged a squeaking lamb under one arm and old Annabella under the other, little dreaming that anguish the latter idol was to give him. "Where are you going, my chickens?" asked Mrs. Joe as the flock passed her door.
"To play by the big rock, can't we?"
"Yes, only don't go near the pond." Demi proceeded to kindle a small blaze, using the flat stone as an altar for the fire, as he had seen the boys do at picnics. When the flame burned well, he ordered the company to march round it 3 times, then stand in a circle. He solemnly laid a paper book full of pictures pasted by him on the fire. A shabby-looking boat, his army of leaden soldiers from the captain to the smallest drummer, all vanished and mingled in one common pool of melted lead.
"Now, Daisy,"
called the high priest of Kitty Mouse.
"My dear dollies, how can I let them go?"
moaned Daisy, hugging the entire dozen with maternal woe.
"You must,"
commanded Demi, and with a farewell kiss, Daisy laid each upon the coals.
"Let me keep one,"
besought the little mama, clutching her last in despair.
More,"
growled an awful voice, and Demi cried,
"That's the kitty mouse. She must have everyone, quick, or she will scratch us."
Invent the precious bluebell, soon a few black flakes remained of her.
"Stand the houses and trees round, and let them catch themselves,"
said Demi, who liked variety even in his sacrifices. Charmed by this suggestion, the children arranged the doomed village, laid a line of coals along the main street. First one cottage blazed up, fired a tree, which fell on the roof of a mansion, and within seconds the whole town was burning. The wooden population stood till they also blazed without a cry. It took some time to reduce the town to ashes, and the lookers-on enjoyed the spectacle, cheering as each house fell, dancing wildly, and actually casting one wretched little lady who had escaped into the very heart of the fire. This last offering excited Teddy, and he threw his lamb into the bonfire, and then planted poor Annabella on the funeral pyre. Of course, she did not like it, and expressed her anguish in a way that terrified her infant destroyer. Annabella squirmed, curled one leg, then the other, flung her arms over her head in agony, and with one final writhe of her whole body, she sank down a blackened mass. This unexpected demonstration startled everyone and frightened Teddy. He screamed and fled toward the house, roaring "Murmur" on the top of his voice. Mrs. Joe heard the outcry, but Teddy could only cling to her and pour out in his broken way, Poor Bella hurted. A great fire, and all the dollies gone. Fearing some mishap, his mother caught him up and hurried to the scene of action, where she found the blind worshippers of Kitty Mouse mourning over the charred remains of the doll. "What have you been at?" said Mrs. Joe, composing herself to listen patiently, for the culprits looked so penitent she forgave them beforehand. Reluctantly, Demi explained their play. Aunt Joe laughed till the tears ran down her cheeks. "I thought you were too sensible to play such a silly game. If I had any Kitty Mouse, I'd have a good one who liked you to play in safe, pleasant ways, not destroy and frighten. Just see the ruin. All Daisy's pretty dolls, Demi's soldiers, Rob's new village besides poor Teddy's pet lamb and dear old Annabella. I shall have to write up in the nursery this verse. The children of Holland take pleasure in making what the children of Plumfield take pleasure in breaking." Adapted from Little Men. When children pretend, they use their imagination to move beyond the bonds of reality. But no game should ever cause damage or injury to oneself or others.